Hello, my fellow indulgers. Здравствуйте, мои дорогие друзья. Я вам хочу сегодня показать. I want to show you guys some of the sights and sounds of Sydney, things that I saw growing up. I'm here on business for a week, so I thought what a great opportunity to show our Russian viewers some of the sights, sounds, and landmarks which make Sydney quite a beautiful city. So if you guys like this type of content, you know what to do. Leave a comment down below. Пожалуйста, скажи мне, что вам нравится. So guys, welcome to the Rocks. Now, the Rocks is one of Sydney's older suburbs, and this is actually a suburb I lived in for a long time as a kid. And now you got to keep in mind, it's changed a lot, like for the better. So as you can see behind me, beautiful piers, beautiful buildings, and if you see these buildings behind me here, these were actually old apartment housing buildings. So apartment housing for our Russian audience at Государственные дома, basically you'd be given these buildings by the government to live in with your family. So we were quite lucky to have this place after we got from our Redfern place. So we moved around quite a lot, but this was probably my favorite. It was definitely more scenic, and I got to learn the city quite well. But this was a very different place. It was actually considered almost a rough place, if you could believe it. Not as rough as some of the other places I've lived in. But it was not what it is now. Now it's a very trendy, prestigious kind of place. Lots of things around. You got Barangaroo right down there, which is this new or newish district where restaurants and food, nightlife, that sort of vibe is going on there. So it's really cool. But yeah, it's changed a lot. I spent a lot of time running around here growing up, and there used to be a playground up just behind that big grey building that me and my cousin used to run around in. So that was a lot of fun, and yeah, I had some good childhood memories here and exploring the city with my family. Well, my cousin mainly, who was similar in age to me, so he's 5 years younger. So as you can imagine, two boys getting up to no good. This is where we did it. Yeah. But as you can see, the Sydney skyline is a beautiful skyline. I'd say it's very well designed city as far as beauty goes. It's very glassy, but I'm a big fan of more older style European architecture, I guess, because it's always what spoke to me. So this is why the Rocks to me is quite nice. There's some really old pubs here. So the bары, это наши русские друзья. Очень много старые бары. So some of these bars they go back all the way to, we're talking like 100 years. One of them is even haunted. So let's check it out. Now, fun fact, this place that I'm walking past now, this building right here used to be a post office. So it was one of the most original post office you'll ever see, like all the metal bits and everything was there. I think they even have the old letter deposit bin here. As you can see, very, very English. The royal seal's there. So, when it comes to the question of culture within Australia, you have to understand how Australia is, it's a young country. So for a lot of our Russian viewers, it's a blend of nationalities, it's a blend of people, it's a blend of ideas. And you have this early English period where a lot of these streets kind of represent, the old English style of streets and some of the old English buildings. And then obviously you got this very new modern city, which is what it is now, basically. So if you go up these cobblestones, go all the way up there. That's known as Observatory Hill. The reason it's known as Observatory Hill is because there's a observatory telescope up there. And I'm pretty sure you can do tourist tours, and you can check out the stars. Now, I'm gonna walk past the church here. So this church, even when I was small, I didn't realize it, but as some of you may know, I was in the infantry, and this was the church for my battalion right here. I personally never set foot in there. We, for whatever reason, we never had the reason to go for some of our meetings, but you know, it's there. It was always interesting to see a little bit of a nod to, you know, to something that you were a part of at one point. And here, guys, I want to show this view. Look at that. So yeah, really cool, really cool. Like I said, architecture looks amazing, and we're about to go now into the main district of the Rocks, which is where all your restaurants and some of your nightlife is. Some very high-end restaurants too. So yeah, it's a cool little joint. Just going to show you some of this church too. Now, fun fact about the Rocks. This is one of the few places you can go on ghost tours, and I have never been on one because I have seen enough movies where things go wrong, so I have learned to avoid those kind of things, as many Russians would probably agree with me to not do things like that. But yeah, so this is one of the entrances to the ghost doors. If you can see, we are now going through this giant archway. As you can see, all the stone, all sandstone, very well built. Probably stand for another 1,000, if not more, if not a million years. But the entrance to some of the ghost doors can be seen through one of the doors leading up this way. It's going to be in the wall here somewhere. As you can see, we're now walking to the main district. It's all lit up, bright, looks beautiful. And it is. You'll see a lot of lights and a lot of different things like that. So it's a very beautiful thing. So that's the route to the ghost stores up there. Restaurants, bars, you name it, it's here. So it's all here. It's cool. Very European feel to it, actually. I've got to say, very European feel to it. I'd say this is one of the most European feeling places within Australia, by far. So you can see behind me, they converted some of the older buildings to nightclubs and fooderies and bars. So there's a nice mix of old and new, and it works quite well, I think. I think they've done a great job. Now guys, this is the main hall. Right here used to be this beautiful French patisserie shop. It's still a patisserie shop, but it's a different owner, and it was delicious when I was young. Now guys, as you can see, streets aren't too busy. It is 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, so tonight's late night shopping, which means people are probably in shopping centers. There is a little bit of a drizzle and a downpour, so maybe that's why people aren't out, but yeah, generally things close, or can close quite early. But check this out. As you can see, we're walking up to the harbour bridge. Some cool Italian restaurants here. Julia and I actually have eaten here a couple of times. Some good Italian pasta. The kids loved it too, so that was good. So tell me so far, for my Russian viewers, вы это все видите, и вы видите, как здесь построено. Конечно, это один специальная улица. Что вы думаете? Это вы бы хотели увидеть Австралию? Вы бы хотели увидеть Сидней? Если да, где бы вы хотели пойти? Что бы вы хотели увидеть? И что вы думаете про саму страну? Я говорю, знаешь, как про бича, я говорю про, знаешь, еду. Что русский менталитет про австралийский туризм? Пожалуйста, расскажи мне. As you can see, guys, some memorials to soldiers. This one's to the settlers. This one's to the convict. You know, I just asked our Russian viewers, you know, what's the impression of Australia as far as the tourism, the country itself, as far as, you know, the beaches and what you would do within Australia, because it's a question I actually get asked quite a lot. You know, what can you do? Where do you go? What do you see? And there's an incredibly vibrant food scene. So if you are a connoisseur of food, and if you enjoy high quality food, you enjoy high quality wine, and you really love a wide variety of flavors and expression, then Sydney and Melbourne especially, is phenomenal for that. So what do you come to Australia for? Food, culture. You come to Australia for the beaches, I guess. When it's summer, we have really beautiful beaches here. You know, if you want a good swim. What else would you come here for? The wildlife, if you love animals. Actually, the wildlife here is something that not a lot of people talk about, because a lot of marine biologists and a lot of animal experts come to Australia because the country is very well known for having excellent programs to assist marine life and assist the natural world a lot. So when I was even in Russia, I had some people ask me about it. They were like, you know, Vlad, do you know anyone in the marine biology sphere or that sphere? Unfortunately, I don't, but it's something that a lot of people take interest in, and I think for a lot of Australians, we're not aware of how much of a good thing that is. We don't talk about it that much. So yeah, you know, props to Australia for looking after the wildlife. As you can see, guys, some of these hotels. But look at that street. How beautiful is that? Yeah. So what we need to do now is we're gonna find some food, because I am still on Moscow time, and I plan to stay on Moscow time, because 1 week of travel is not worth me switching over. And let me tell you guys, from going from Moscow to Dubai to Melbourne to Sydney, then back to Melbourne, then back to Moscow, you want to make sure your time zone is locked into the place where you're staying. That's Moscow. So I can't wait. Yeah. Can't wait to be back. Can't wait to meet with a few friends. Can't wait to be back. But guys, this video is obviously about the rocks, so we are exploring the rocks. We're exploring the rocks. Now, to our Russian viewers, I want you to understand that the prices of things in Australia naturally at the moment are very high. So high-end restaurant meals do cost a lot. They can go anywhere between, you know, let's say you want to take your wife out, or if you're a husband and wife and you're going out for dinner or whatnot, you're looking at, you know, anywhere between 250 to 500 depending on what you guys get. So yeah, be aware of that. How cool is that? They got one of those old school phone booths over there. So as you can see, guys, the rocks is not a big place. We've pretty much walked the circumference of it. So it's not a huge place, it's a very condensed place, and you'll notice that about most places in Australia. They're not, like, the areas aren't that big, so you know, it's something to be aware of. It's good because, like, if you want to go out for a night out or whatever, and let's say you just want to stay in one area, there's quite a few things to do. You can check out, like, multiple clubs and bars and whatnot, you know, which is good. Now, to the people that watch the Arbat Street video and enjoy their arts, here's a little glimpse of some shops that have some traditional arts and rings. Alright guys, I think now what we need to do is grab some food, but first we're going to go check out Circle K. As you can hear, or maybe not, it's starting to get a little bit more lively here. Some crowds from the bars are making some sound. So there's a pavilion over here. Seems to be a truck from the radio stations, their KISS. So they're probably doing some sort of event there. But guys, this is the main site of Sydney. So if you are ever coming to Sydney, если вы хотите когда-то прийти в Сидней, и вы хотите что-то увидеть, и вы хотите узнать, где пойти, вот это самое главное место. Вы должны здесь пойти первое, потому что здесь у тебя твой Opera House, твой там Harbour Bridge, и все здания, и здесь все рестораны, и бары, и все остальное, что ты бы или вы бы хотели увидеть, и услышать, и попробовать. So what I was saying to our Russian viewers, that this is the place you go for main sights and sounds of Sydney, Australia. If you're going to go somewhere, this is what you check out. You come here first because this is going to be your 3-in-1 sort of whammy, right? You can get onto the ferries here. There's some Australians enjoying the local sports. I think today there's some sort of, that's right, the State of Origin is on today. Yes, it is. But yeah guys, you can catch one of these ferries and they'll take you to places like the zoo, which is Taronga Zoo, which is beautiful. You have to check it out if you come to Sydney. And of course you can see your sights, your sounds, you can see the nightlife and the cityscape. And there's actually an art museum here too. Now, to give you fair warning, it's modern art. So just, you know, if that's the kind of art you enjoy, then there is a museum here for it. If it is not, then you might not find it as interesting. That being said, it's very easy to enter, and I believe it's free too, so you can check it out. But I gotta say, it is definitely a lot more quiet at the moment than I thought it would be. I do remember, I haven't lived in Sydney for a while, so you know, the cities change quite quickly. I think they change as quickly as people. But yeah, it's a little bit more quiet for a Thursday, and I would definitely say maybe it's the rain and the cold keeping people home, which is fair enough, which is absolutely fair enough. Well, there you have it, guys. That is a tour of the rocks here in Sydney, Australia, and it is still as beautiful as ever. I remember, it is a very, very beautiful city. Если вы хотите увидеть такой красивый город, пожалуйста, приходите. Здесь много сделать. И если вам понравилось это видео, если мой русский чуть-чуть от этого лучше станет, тогда буду делать больше видео по русскому, чтобы я мог больше научиться, как красивее разговаривать. И если вы думаете, что я лучше разговариваю, пожалуйста, лайк. Окей, до свидания, and пока-пока.